Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sipniewski, your crypto queen. Thank you so much for popping by my channel. Please know that this is not financial advice. I'm only here to entertain you and to remind you to buy on red candles. And welcome to end of week one of my $1,000,000 Bitcoin challenge. Okay, now the reason that it's called my $1,000,000 Bitcoin challenge is because by the end of 2030, there's a lot of smart people out there that are giving Bitcoin the valuation of $1,000,000 that has the potential of being worth $1,000,000 or over. Now, keeping that in the back of my mind, I'm purchasing little fractional shares of Bitcoin every single day in hopes that I can accumulate enough of them while the Bitcoin price is down this low to get to 1 Bitcoin. Don't forget, you know what? Not too long ago, Bitcoin at the all time high hit almost 70,000. Now we're floating around in the $20,000 area. We've been down in the teens. I mean, this is the time to do it. I don't want to wait until it goes to 25 and 30 to start doing this. I'm doing this now. I'm buying in it now. And I have a little capital reserve of money because I do believe the price of Bitcoin is going to go even lower. And when it does, that's when I'm really going to throw a bigger portion of money at it. I'm hoping to accumulate like maybe a quarter or a half of Bitcoin. I don't know. We have to see how low the price gets and how much I have to see what that's going to be. But this is something I believe that all of us can do. There's money that we can afford to spend every single day, and it's not really money spent, it's money invested. Money invested in you, in your financial future, for either your retirement or for your family. If there's some goals that you want to meet by 2030, I think this is a great way to meet them. Who doesn't want some extra cash laying around? And let's say, okay, you're not so bullish on Bitcoin. You're not a strong, Bitcoin believer. What about Ether? What about Crow? What about Matic? What about anyone? Just go on coinmarketcap.com and pick out any of the top 25 coins, with the exception of stable coins. Any of those are probably good to invest in. Okay. What is it that you want your life to look like? What is it that you want it to be? Are you willing to invest in yourself? Because instead of going to Starbucks and spending 20 to 30 bucks on a round of drinks for people, you could be putting that money into your future. I don't care who you are. You got some money to spend every single day. I watch people how they freaking spend their money on these scratch offs, or they're buying like a stack of lottery tickets, or they're buying just absolute ridiculous stuff at the store. And I'm thinking to myself, what are they gonna do with that stuff? Like, seriously? Like, what are they doing with that? They should be putting that money into Bitcoin. Just think of when Bitcoin hit almost 70,000 not too long ago. We're in the teens now. It would be absurd if you're a cryptocurrency believer, if you believe in the power of the blockchain and you believe that cryptocurrency adoption is right around the corner within a few years, then you have to believe Bitcoin is going to be worth significantly more in the not too distant future. Because I think Bitcoin is going to be the backbone of everything. I just do. People like Cathie Wood, Michael Saylor, Jack Mallers, these people all have a very bullish outlook on Bitcoin, and they're the ones that are giving it this $1,000,000 valuation by the year 2030. I mean, there's even one guy, this guy, Robert Breedlove, he believes Bitcoin's going to be worth $12.5 million. Of course, he thinks the US dollar is going to hyperinflate to be completely worthless. So even though he gives it that $12.5 million valuation, it's still only going to be worth $1 million in today's money. But here's one of the reasons that I'm not too scared of his valuation. It's because he has blown a lot of price predictions. He said Bitcoin was going to reach $250,000 last year. That didn't happen. So if you happen to stumble upon that number or that article and you saw that this guy believes Bitcoin is going to be worth 12 and a half, but the dollar is going to be worthless, and it freaked you out and you got scared and you got worried, just to give you a little reference that when it comes to, price predictions, he's kind of been slapped her around a little bit, so don't worry about that. But I just want you to sit back and think, what are some things that I spend money on that are just absolutely ridiculous? I don't need to spend money on them. I could be spending it here. Don't you want to join me on this $1 million Bitcoin challenge? Doesn't it sound like something that is a good idea? Like I'm saying, I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm telling you to invest in yourself. Whatever it is that you think is going to be worth more money, can even be a stock, whatever it is that gold, silver, whatever. You need to invest in yourself. It's never too late to start investing, and it's most certainly never too early. So even if you're someone who's very young, teenager, 20 something year old, and you're like, I got all the time in the world to worry about retirement. Was not too long ago. I was a teenager or in my early 20s, and let me tell you, it goes fast. Ask anybody who's in their 50s, 60s, and 70s how fast time goes. They're going to tell you how fast it goes. You should start worrying now about where you're going to be when you're a little old lady like me. All right, so I'm going to keep you posted throughout out my $1 million Bitcoin challenge, and hopefully one day I'll be able to slap my phone in front of you and say, "Look it, here's my Bitcoin. I got a complete one." Here's to hoping. So let's continue on with the $1 million Bitcoin challenge, and I will catch you next time. Until then,